That's part of what this is about here. We just read it. You shall beget sons and daughters, but you won't enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. Let's go and find out the reason why they were sold to captivity. These are our ancestors. You know, y'all saw Roots, Kunta Kinte, and all that. You know, these are our ancestors. So let me get verse 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon.
All these what?
All these curses.
All these what?
All these curses.
All these curses shall come upon thee. If you should not hearken. Hearken means to listen. So if you don't listen, the Lord is saying all these curses shall come upon you. Continue.
All these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
And overtake thee. So if you ever wonder if black people are cursed, yes, we are. If you ever wonder why black people having problems and all the things, getting shot in the street, drug addiction, prostitution, abortions, being poor, you know, having bad health, this is why. This is exactly why. This is the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge under the command of General Yohanan. And we teach this. We've been teaching this truth since 1969. 1969, we've been teaching this truth. This is where it is in the Bible. The Bible has everything. The Lord made the Bible. The Lord had the men make this Bible, write this Bible about our truth. This is our Constitution. So the Lord said, if you don't listen and keep my law, statutes, and commandments, all these curses shall follow you. That's why. Read.
Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in thy city.
Cursed shall you be in the city. All the cities, the inner cities. We're cursed in them inner cities. Kids dealing dope. Kids getting shot. Kids fighting for nothing. Killing each other. Not just fighting, but killing each other. You know, it was one time back in the day where, you know, you had a fight with another kid. A boy didn't do this. You know, y'all get it, you know, somebody win, somebody lose. Then he go home and then he lick his wounds and then he's okay. You see him the next day. But nowadays, ain't like that. Pow! You dead. Nonsense. See, we're cursed when we're in the city. We're cursed because even when we're in the city, they're looking at us as prey. When you got all these other nations, they're looking at us as prey. You give your money to the 7-Eleven dude and he treats you with that little funky attitude he got. You go to the Asian place, the Chinese people treat you with that funky attitude at the nail shops. Remember they had that article about the sister getting beat up by the Chinese ladies hitting them with brooms and then holding them inside there and calling the cops on them and trying to say that they were wrong just because they said they didn't like the way they did their nails. Cursed shall thou be in the city, man. That was dead wrong. You know what I'm saying? What about the brothers at Starbucks that was sitting there? Everybody sits in Starbucks and do the Wi-Fi thing and don't necessarily keep buying coffee, just keep one cup of coffee. They stay there for hours. But what these brothers pointed out and they called the police on them for trying to get a charge for loitering at the Starbucks, you know? And then the other one at the Starbucks, they didn't want to get a brother the PIN code to the bathroom. But when our oppressor, a white man, came along and wanted to use the bathroom, he got the code immediately. You know what I mean? Cursed shall thou be in the city. Go ahead.
Lucky, I just wanted to piggyback on what you said about how God will make the Israelite man more precious than gold.
Right.
You know, because when we look at the commodities back in the slavery days, one of the biggest commodities was the cotton, right? Okay. But a bigger commodity was gold. But then a bigger commodity than that was the slave.
The slave.
So I just wanted to bring that scripture out for you.
Oh, right. I was hoping that you would get it. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 12. I will make a man more precious than fine gold, even a man than the golden wedge of Ophir.
That's right, of Ophir. Exactly. It's a couple of scriptures in there that describes the man as being more precious than gold, because you are more precious than gold. But what we don't realize is that we're in the bottom of society. The black man is in the bottom of society. We've been disrespected. We've been disrespected by our own women at home. We've been disrespected by other women in our tribe that are black like we are in public or any place. We've been disrespected by the white man. We've been disrespected by the Asian man. We've been disrespected by the East Indian man. We've been disrespected by the African man who calls us kafa, which means cotton picker. Okay? But the Lord said what? Read that again. What did the Lord say about us? And
Isaiah 13 and 12.
Go ahead.
I will make a man more precious than fine gold.
More precious than fine gold. Like you said, a wedge, like the Bible says, a wedge of gold of Ophir, right? Exactly. So that's the thing. You're a black man, you are more precious. You see, you don't realize it because people tell you all these things and say that you're not this and you're not that, but everybody's copycatting you. You know, the biggest form of flattery is, how would they say it? Impersonating someone. When you impersonate somebody, that person that you're impersonating, that's the biggest flattery that he can ever get. Like people want to sound like Tupac, people want to sound like Biggie. Well, don't they want to sound like the Young Brothers and look like the Young Brothers right here? You know what I'm saying? If he decides to wear a certain outfit and wear that all the time and jazz it out and, you know, funk it out like he do, everybody gonna be wanting to do it like him. White folks that rich as hell, you know what I mean, want to be like him. But this is the thing. Let me get back because I kind of got off a little. This is why we have brutality in America. We have brutality because we're cursed from God. But that's not the end of the story. That's far from not the end of the story. But that curse is being lifted. That curse, we done did our time. We did our time. That curse is basically lifted, really. You know, at this time, we just have to realize it. We just have to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments to the Most High God and realize that we're Israelites. Understand? See, this is when I took Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy 28 describes Israel. When the fake Jews in this world, there's Jews run around, they fake, they call themselves Jews, they say they're Jewish, they're from Israel, this, that, they're the chosen of God. They're not. They are not. You're chosen of God. You just don't know it yet. You understand? So when you're doing, when you're realizing these things, you got to understand the Lord wants us to obey him. And the reason why we're going through this brutality, because we didn't obey him. We need to come back to these law, statutes, and commandments. Now let's go to, we're still in Deuteronomy, right? Let's go to verse, oh, you didn't finish it out, did you?
Yeah, no, I didn't finish.
Continue.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
In the field. Where's the field? Look at down south. Down south. What was down south? What were we doing down south? Go ahead.
Picking cotton.
Picking cotton. What else was we doing? What else will we be?
Sharecroppers.
That's real. You read my mind, priest. You read my mind. Sharecroppers. Cursed shall you be in the field. You understand? We're cursed in these fields because a sharecropper was the one that would get our oppressor. You know, he would sell us some land or make us in charge of this land and say, if you work this land, you're going to get that property. You work this is going to be your property. Just work it for a while and give me half of what you make off that crop, off that corn, off that sugar cane, off that what else they got in the field? Wheat, things like that. Whatever you make from yield from that field, just give me half. So we worked ourselves to the bone. Anybody here saw Men of Honor, the movie Men of Honor, right? Remember, he was the first. This was the first African American, so-called African American Navy diver, master diver. He went through hell, but his dad was a sharecropper before he went into the Navy. He said, "I'm gonna work this land. I'm gonna work this land." They had that part where he tells him, his son. He tell his father. He told his father. He said, "You know, I'm working this land. You doing the land, but y'all gonna lose." Remember he said, y'all gonna lose the crop, the land. Y'all gonna lose this land. He was over there with a big old mule all day long and they showed how he had blood in his hands, these cuts and his deep cuts in his hands, because that's what the sharecroppers do for pulling the mules all through that land, tilling that land and whatever they do, as far as making it, able so that they could plant seeds. But he was saying that, he said, "No, I ain't never gonna own this land." That's what his father was telling him. He was a sharecropper. They told him, he bought into the fact, "Hey, you're gonna give me this land as long as I take care of it. Eventually, I'm gonna own it." But it didn't work out that way for many slaves, for many black men in the South. Okay, so it shows a part of the movie where the boy was like, he was saying, "Well, I got to you got to go to school, go on to school." He had to tell his dad, he had to tell his father. His father was working himself so hard. He had to tell his father, "It's Friday. We don't got to go to school today, Dad. We're going to help you pull this, till this land too." The sons had to build some whole families was out there working them fields. But he wanted his sons to go to school. You understand? But that was just before he went into the Navy. And you realize, cursed shall we be in the field also. We're not just cursed in the city, we're cursed in the field. Go ahead.
Slocky, I just wanted to bring something else to mind was, when we look at the our Issacharite brothers being cursed in the field, like here in California, I remember when they used to hire all kinds of Mexicans to work these vegetable fields and fruit fields and vegetable fields, picking all the fruit and vegetables in these fields, and they're paying them way under minimum wage. They're barely paying them anything, and they out there slaving in the fields every day.
Exactly. And they out there making what? A quarter of a penny per hour. I remember working and I wasn't no damn migrant worker. I was working for $3.35 an hour coming out of high school. And then coming to be a young man in my 20s. $3.35 was minimum wage back in my day.
Slocky, I can remember $1.65 as being the minimum wage.
That's because you 85 years old. Nah. Hey, but you know exactly, Ramayam, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Right. Our oppressor is a damn demon, a devil. You understand? But what he's done to us, he is going to pay. This is what you don't. He's going to pay for everything that he's done. The Lord wanted us to be punished for not doing the law, statutes, and commandments, and not, going out there eating shrimp, crab, and lobster, smoking weed, messing with people's wives, having abortions, and all the sins that we do. But the Lord said, your punishment is up. Our punishment was up already. But the thing is, our oppressor furthered our affliction. That's another scripture. I got to get that one too. They furthered our affliction, which means he kept us in them fields. My mom and I realized what my mom meant by when she told me that she was a slave. She never admitted that until I was in my 50s. She said our grandmother was a slave. We knew she was, but my mother told me out of her mouth, we all were slaves, baby. We all were slaves. Because just because they said that they freed us, that didn't mean that they wasn't going to continue to try to keep us as slaves. You see what I'm saying? Slavery was abolished, the Emancipation Proclamation, this, that, and the other. But those uneducated so-called black people, so-called Hispanic people, didn't know that they were free. So they were still continuing to go to the rigmaroles and rigors of being slaves. That's why they were still going through it. You understand? And through all of that, one thing you need to understand, we came through all of that. We're still here. And the reason we're still here, because we're God's chosen people. Negro, if you're Negro and you got slave descent, you're descendant of slaves, you are from the tribe of Judah. Yahweh in the Hebrew. The same tribe that Christ came from. The same tribe that King David came from. The same tribe that King Solomon came from. Understand? Joseph. Understand? That's who you are. That's your tribe, your lineage, your bloodline. See, they tell you in the Christian church, don't worry about it. What's the problem with black and white? That's not no issue. But you know what? It's always been an issue. That's why you have the white Jesus up there.
That's right.
That's why they painted the white Jesus. But we know that Christ, Yahushua, is black and from the tribe of Judah and from the tribe in Yahweh in the Hebrew. Okay. We got any more on that, priest?
That was the end of that verse, but we got more though.
I know we do. I know we do. So,
Can we continue?
Yeah, go ahead.
Verse 17. Curse, Deuteronomy 28:17. Curse shall be thy basket and thy store.
The basket in your store, that's your business. That's your private, your business that your counter where you sell things, your store place where you hold your stock, you separate it, you detail it, you put your prices on there, and you have the people come in and look at what you got, you sell. It's cursed. Read.
Verse 18. Slakia. Curse shall be the fruit of the body and the fruit of thy land, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep.
See, so the flocks of your sheep, what it says, your land, everything that you have will be cursed. You'll get up a certain amount. You'll be able to get to a certain area, and then next thing you know, your business is down. It's gone flat. You was able to handle that overhead, they call it, which that extra expense for your business. But after a while, that overhead became too much. It became like, well, you got to give us like $5,000 to clear your overhead, and your revenue, you won't have no revenue, because you got to pay your overhead. So your business goes down. Go ahead.
Slakia, I just want also, when it talks about curse shall be the fruit of thy body.
Mm-hmm.
The fruit of your body is your children. Your children are going to be cursed. Mm-hmm. They're going to go through America being cursed, going through all the plagues in America, being raised up in the ghettos, going to prison, being drug addicts, being prostitutes, being homosexuals. This is the curse of the fruit of our body, that the fruit of our body are our children, man. We get raised up in America, and, the fruit of our body, our children, they go through all these pains and afflictions, and sometimes worse than what we go through, but they're being cursed as well.
And that's so correct, because I already know my son got PTSD. I already know maybe both of them do. Understand? PTSD, these children got what we suffered in the military, in Esau's army. All right. He got PTSD, but no one's addressing that. They don't give a damn about it. They say get a therapist, and the therapist prices are so sky high. They talk about they got a sliding scale. You can't even do the sliding scale because you got an EBT card. So how in the hell are you going to get your son the therapy that he needs to overcome that PTSD that he endured from the streets and the cities of America? Go ahead.
Yeah, and that's funny that you mentioned that PTSD, because I was dealing with some Social Security, shit. And I was talking about the PTSD. And PTSD, a lot of times they associate it just with military. Your time in the military, you're seeing, your comrades get blown up next to you, you're seeing brothers get sucked up in the plane intakes, and you're seeing all kinds of devastating stuff while you're at war.
And the guilt that goes with it.
Right. But, when you take it to another level, when you look at the streets, like just for instance, the streets of LA, you look at the streets of LA, all the gang violence, you could be walking down the street and all of a sudden, somebody comes by and does a drive-by, and you're 15 years old, and you see your homeboy next to you that you went to school with all your life get gunned down.
Right.
That can create PTSD as well.
Of course, you're seeing his brain matter. You're seeing all his brains and all that gushy stuff come out his brain, and he's sitting there. He's no longer alive. He's just like this, and he got just a froze expression on his face. That tells you that immediately you got PTSD. You got PTSD immediately. They even told us when we went to boot camp, even in boot camp, you got PTSD. Somebody hollering at you at 4:00 in the morning to get up and get this and get that every goddamn morning. You got PTSD. And then they physically wearing you out for doing this, make you do push-ups, side straddle hops, mountain climbing and all that stuff. That, I remember what my experience was at Paris Island. And all those things, man, that's not natural. You're supposed to be able to get out of your sleep when you're ready to get out your sleep. You're supposed to be, I remember my drill instructor grabbed me and tried to pull me up off the rack. My foot was like 1 inch away from his private parts, and he had to drop me. He was like, damn, don't ever touch me in my sleep. I've been like that. But that's PTSD. Those situations get you to post-traumatic stress disorder, because it's called civilian PTSD, and then there's military PTSD. From getting shot, from seeing people beat each other up, or people hit each other with a head with a bat, and his brains go, you see his eyes swell all the way out like that, or you hear his ribs being broken. Those things create PTSD. So anyway, these are the results of what we experience as Blacks and Hispanics in America. You understand? These are the after effects of that. You had a question.
Yeah.
What would you get ready to say?
What is PTSD?
Post, which means after. Traumatic, which means trauma, which is something that traumatizes you, scares the hell out you, and messes you up. Stress, post-traumatic stress disorder. It's a disorder. That's why it has a D at the end. Because you're supposed to be in order, right? But that caused you disorder. Okay? Hearing somebody's arm get broke. Really hearing it. See, and seeing how a bullet breaks the face up. You don't want to see that. Trust me, you don't. Go ahead.
Yeah, Salaki, you were mentioning the two different PTSDs, the military and the civilian.
Okay.
I mean, me personally, I think sometimes that civilian PTSD is worse than military PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you see your mom out there and the police is jacking up your mother, you know what I'm saying? And your father's not in the home, and the police bust into your house because they think your house is a dope house, but they got the wrong house. Now they just tear up your house, and they sending your mama to jail, or they beating your mama up and sending the reason that I'm using mama, because a lot of times the man ain't in the home and sons is raised by their mama. So the things that they see that happen to their mother, it creates a lot of trauma to these young men.
Absolutely. It does create that trauma, and it puts a scar on that memory, a scar, because you be permanently scarred. Like the little boy just recently, the little boy that the mother let him go to a party in Texas, and there were white people at that party. They made him drink urine. In other words, they made him drink piss They made him drink piss, and they did something else to him. Now, that boy is scarred for life. The father wasn't in the home. The father would have said, look, man, these folks are racist. My son ain't going to the party. No, you can't go. Damn it. Hell no, you can't go. If I catch you around there, I'm whooping your butt. You understand? The dad would have laid it down and made sure that his son don't be out there, because you know Texas is super racist. They got the Confederate flags. A lot of slaves were out there. Mexican slaves too. Mexican people, you know, getting deprived of their land, you know, and all you see down there, you know, I'm from the East Coast, so whenever I see a pickup truck with that British flag, that Confederate flag on it, and that shotgun rack, I already know what you're doing. You're going, I already know you prejudiced. I already know. You understand? And so these are the things that this boy went through, because only the mom was there to make the decision. If she was a smart woman, she would have said, hell no. I know there could be some white supremacists actually who came into the party knowing that little boy was invited. Oh, wait, he dark. This is a nigga right here. Let me do something to him. So that's exactly what happened to that little boy. You understand? Because the man ain't in the house to put it down. Oh, yeah, we're going to have a problem. If we got a problem with mama, look, mama, me and you finna fight, because he ain't going. Damn that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up another point about PTSD with children. Well, specifically black young boys that are growing up with just their mom. You know, their mom tries, you know, the black woman tries to be as strong as she can and try to raise that boy the best that she can.
Mm-hmm.
But a black woman can't raise a black child to be a young man. You know, they'll see a black woman all up in the nigga's face, hollering and screaming, and you know, and she might get what she wants. Mm-hmm. But then that young boy sees that and he says, oh, well, that's how you be strong. You just run your mouth and be up in a nigga's face. Right. That's not how men deal with shit. Right. Because if you run up in a man's face with all that noise, you're going to get your teeth knocked out.
You're going to get a hook. Right.
They handle things in a different way.
Thank you.
But they see that's how a woman shows her strength as being a woman, by being up in a man's face like that. But that's not how a man does it.
Which is Americanized, because the woman is Americanized. Our women are Americanized. Remember when the slave came here, when they separated the families, that woman had to protect them children. And it's not her fault. It's not her fault. Wow. She is going through the PTSD of slavery. It's not even funny, y'all. It's so deep. It's so deep on so many levels. It's amazing. It's so damn deep and horrible. You understand? Because your man ain't home no more. Your protector of your nation is the goddamn man. That's why we're at the bottom. That's why our children, our young boys, don't have no father leadership to show him how to be a warrior. You understand? Go ahead, priest.
Yeah, that goes back to, you know, like when you read the book about the Willie Lynch letters, and it talks about how they wanted to reverse the roles of a man and a woman. Mm-hmm. You know, they reverse the roles and they make the woman in charge of everything. They make the woman boisterous, and the woman teaches her son, keep your mouth shut. Don't say anything, because if you speak up, young black boy, you're going to get whooped and you're going to get killed. Let me talk, because they're not going to whoop and kill me if I talk for you. Mm-hmm. So they give her that power. Mm-hmm. So now here in America, they're trying to give the black woman that power over the households and over everything else.
And so much so.
That's right.
And it's natural for a woman to want power. A woman, like a man, want the box, right? Women know that already. The man wants the box, but you know the woman wants power. Right. Let's go to Genesis with the serpent in the garden. Let's go to Genesis with the serpent in the garden. This is discussing the black woman real quick, what she went through.
You have a chapter and verse, sir?
See if you can find it. I'm kind of like, let's see, Genesis. It's probably one. Let's see if it's one. Let's see.
Where the serpent approached Eve.
Where the serpent beguiled Eve, right? No, it's not. It's seventh day. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Let's go to chapter 3. Chapter 3 and start at 1. My spot.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field.
What is subtle? What is subtle? What does that mean? But I want to get it in the Merriam-Webster dictionary. This fly is annoying me, and if I slap it, it's a lock it, which means excuse me in the Hebrew. Cause I'm gonna get that fly. He coming down there messing with y'all. Nah, don't bring it in. Nah, it was here already. Okay, you got it? Go ahead and read.
In the Merriam-Webster dictionary,
Okay.
the word subtile means cunning,
crafty, discerning, which means it knows the difference between this and that. It's cunning. Go ahead.
That's it.
Okay, so that's what the serpent is. A serpent is most cunning and crafty. But the difference is in the Christian church teaches you that was a snake. And this seems like it's a snake in this Bible. But you know what? The Bible is a book written on metaphors. And a metaphor means it uses it as an example. It's not a serpent. That's a man. A subtle, crafty man. Like we say, a snake, right? A lot of us know in the hood. Y'all understand now, right? The Bible's a black book. Understand? A snake. We know what a snake is. Continue.
That's it on that. That's the definition.
Let's go to verse 1. Genesis 3 and 1. Mashapat, you got it? Read.
Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made.
Any beast in the field. So what is he saying? He was more subtle. So this is a man who's more subtle than any beast in the field. What is that? What is the beast? Okay, for time's sake, I'm gonna say it's a man. Any beast in the field. The Lord called us beasts in this analogy. It's not written like they tell you in the Christian church. It was a snake that was more subtle than any beast, like an ox, a calf, or a rhino, or elephant. No, than any man. Man were the beasts of the field. Okay, continue.
And he said, which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, have God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden?
So the Lord, so the snake is questioning what the Lord said. The Lord already put the word down to Adam. This is Adam and Eve, right? The Lord taught statutes and commandments to Adam. Yeah, way back then, the law, statutes, and commandments was always taught. So he's telling Eve, the Lord said, don't eat of this tree, right? In a tree, you know what it is? It's philosophy. It's the philosophy. Because when you get the philosophy, you eat that philosophy, and then you live that philosophy. Y'all saw the Tina Turner movie, right? Ike and Tina Turner, what was it called? Love, what love got to do with it? And when she got beat up, when she started coming back to herself, her friend said, I got something that you can learn. And then she just, nam yo rinky, nam yo rinky, nam yo rinky, only. We are not Moabites, which in the Bible, Chinese people, any people from Asia, Korean, Chinese, Japanese, you Moab. No, Japanese is Ammon. But if you Chinese and you Korean, you Moab. We are not Namyo Rinke. We are Negro, get away from me. All right? That's what we is. So she took on the philosophy of the serpent that told her in the garden because she wanted that. Let's see what the serpent told her, though. I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. Go ahead. Continue.
And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit.
No. Go back to the Lord God had made. Yeah.
Yea, have God said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden.
So he's asking her, yeah. So the Lord said you won't eat of every tree of the garden, right? You real understand this craftiness of this devil. Continue.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 2. And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden.
Continue.
But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God hath said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die.
Don't even listen to that philosophy in the middle of this garden. Because in the middle of this garden, that's where you're getting tested. The Lord said, don't touch it. You understand? And Eve is telling the serpent, don't take this philosophy. Don't listen to this part of this philosophy that's being put down. Okay? Continue.
So like I said, I just wanted to bring something out. You know, when it talks about the trees in the field, you know, a lot of times, you know, Christianity talks about trees in the field. They make it seem like it's just a bunch of fruit trees or whatever trees that's in the field. And what people don't really understand that when it talks about the trees in the field in the book of Genesis, it's not talking about literal trees. You know, these are metaphors that it's talking about. So I just wanted to bring up a precept, if I may.
Go ahead.
To show you that, you know, trees are not considered fruit trees or actual literal trees.
No.
But they're considered other nations.
No.
Okay, so if we go to Ezekiel chapter 31, verse 3.
Good.
And we're going to read through 5. Ezekiel 31, 3.
You get it? Go ahead and read.
Ezekiel chapter 31, verse 3. Behold, the Assyrians was a cedar in Lebanon.
There you go. Right. A cedar in Lebanon. So the Assyrians, that's the Assyrian nation. That's the nation in Palestine that took us into captivity. Okay. So that tree is actually, that tree is speaking of a man or a nation.
With the fair branches and with a shadowing shroud and of a high stature.
Okay.
And his top was among the thick boughs.
Right. So go ahead. You want to break that down?
Come on, I'll break it down.
Break it
you
down.
know, when it talks about the cedar, it's like the Assyrians were like the cedar tree. The cedar tree is like a very hard, big tree. Exactly. So back then, the Assyrians were like a very rough nation back then. Okay, right. And and with shadowing shrouds. So what they did was they overshadowed all the other nations because they were so strong.
Absolutely.
Okay. And a high statue. They had a high stature. That means that they were very prominent during that time. Everybody followed them because they were so big and they were so strong. Okay. Right. And his top was among the thick boughs. So the top was among the thick boughs. So their echelon or their government was among all the top governments that was around because they were so strong and so hard and so powerful.
Which is true. And that's why we went into captivity under them.
Right.
Just like when the Lord raised up Nebuchadnezzar. The Lord raised up Nebuchadnezzar in Babylon because we sinned. You know what I mean? So that was one of our captivities under that giant bow that was, had the influence of a large part of the world at that time in ancient Palestine. Because those Assyrians is ancient Palestine. And Babylon, that was another with the Medes, which is a different nation. But the Lord raised up Nebuchadnezzar to put us into captivity too, because we had some evil kings of Judah, evil Negroes. You understand? Judah got some serious sins. Understand? Back in the day, so we went into captivity under that king and under the Assyrians as well. But I'll make sure that this is the last one because I want to get back to our topic.
Okay, I just wanted to
Go
bring
ahead.
up that this is just to show you that when it talks about the trees in the Garden of Eden, it's talking here about the cedar tree. You know, so
Absolutely.
the cedar tree is an actual nation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay,
those
so
trees are
right.
nations.
And it's a very good point that you did bring, Priest, because that is that shows you how the Bible is written in metaphors.
Right.
In certain parts of the Bible is literal. Certain parts is metaphor. Okay, so you got to read the Bible, understand the context. What is the story talking about? That's how you know the difference. See what I'm saying? Christian church, then that's the devil's in the Christian church. I tell you, the devil is in the Islam church and the Catholic church. Man, I gotta put that out. I just gotta put that out there. So anyway, let's get back with the story. Okay, so the serpent is telling us. Let's go down to verse 3. Let's go to verse 3.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 3. But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden,
In the middle of the garden. The midst means the middle. Continue.
God hath said, ye shall not eat of it.
Continue.
Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die.
Lest ye what?
Die.
Yes, ye what?
Die.
Yes, ye what?
Die.
You know how many of our women died behind different philosophies? That Namyo Renke stuff didn't even last too damn long, did it? Because I don't see no sisters with that damn thing doing this. I don't see them praying with that big old bald-headed old, you know what I'm saying, Buddha. So what the hell was that about? You know what I mean? Look at how we led. We just so easily gullible, naive, go in the hell goddamn thing just because he says so. Barakatha Yahweh, but while Yahweh shy, for me, always searching for the truth behind the goddamn front. I always was like that. I got to see it in a book, and that book better be telling me the right stuff because I question the book also. Understand? You got to question everything. You know, when I was in college, and I'm not no college big dude in college either. I only got an associate degree. I ain't gonna lie. You understand? But I was on the dean. Hold on, I was on the dean's list. I did have a 3.5 average because I was working 40 hours a week also. Yeah, I did some heavy stuff in my time, and I got that done and completed, and the dean's list. But anyway, what I'm saying, they always taught us in college to question everything. Because just because it's a book don't mean that everything in the book is true. But there's certain points in these books that come across that agree with the Bible. That's how we do it here in the ISUPK. You understand? We take the truth out of a book and we match it with scriptures. If, and I use that word strongly, if it matches scripture, then that's the truth. You understand? Like General Muhammad said, I pray you understand. Okay? Because if it don't match, then you got to throw it out. And if you don't catch it, then you just be telling somebody a lie. You got to study enough just to catch it. It's not hard to do, you know. Especially, you know, we here in the ISUPK, we understand that a lot of things have been whitewashed. A lot of things have been, you know, embellished, which they say, you know, put all this emphasis on. And all these things that's been emphasis, it's not true. Embellishment, it's not true. It's just built up. Oh, he was a gangster. He did 5 years of the penitentiary. You come to find out he just did a county lid in the county. You know? You're going to find out, like what I'm saying, you would think I would have a PhD, but I only got an associate degree. So you got to understand that, separate that truth from a lie. So let's continue. Where we at? Let's get on the subject. Where we at?
Genesis chapter 3, verse 4. And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die.
See, the serpent said to the woman, you ain't going to die. You just going to, learn this philosophy, teach it, all this different stuff. You ain't going to die. But I beg to differ. You take on that philosophy, you going to die. But see, that's the difference, that the woman wants the power. The man wants the box. Now we know that's what we're dealing with. But let's look at the brutality of what we went through. Let's go back to Deuteronomy. We was in 28. And let's go to, 28 and 50.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 50.
Salaki, let's go to 48.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
So you serve your enemy that the Lord sent against you. Who was that enemy? For the black man, who was that enemy that the Lord sent against you? Mashapat?
Esau.
Who is Esau? Khan.
White man.
Damn right. Get that brother a hand. You shall serve your enemy. All right. Continue.
And hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness.
In hunger and thirst and nakedness. When the slave came here, the slave had on clothes? Hell no. Not on the auction blocks. When we came here in them slave ships and them white men sold us, they put us on these auction blocks and we stripped down butt naked. Salaki. What? Oh, God. There's a little bit in there. So we were cut. We were naked. Continue.
And then want of all things.
So we would take it from the top.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
That's right.
And hunger.
In hunger.
And in thirst.
And in thirst.
And in nakedness.
And in nakedness, with no clothes.
And in want of all things.
That's very important. In want of all things. Sis, everything in the ghetto, when we in the ghetto, we need everything. Don't you need another baby blanket? Don't you need some food? Don't you need that? You know what I'm saying? Maybe not now because you got the stimulus check, but and taxes. But guess what? You need that. You still need that because that's going to wear out. You understand? That's going to wear out. That's not permanent. You ain't got a baby blanket that's permanent. I ain't never seen a permanent baby blanket. I got 3 boys.
You don't got a special blanket?
It's a lot. A special blanket's going to still get holes in it. Keep it long enough. It'll get holes in it. It'll get dirty. It'll break. You need Huggies. You need diapers. You understand? And one of all things, you need a maid. Why don't you have a sister come and help you when you get tired? Don't you get tired sometimes?
Sometimes.
That's right. A lot of times you get tired. Don't tell me sometimes. I know. Yeah, I'm tired. Understand? I'm not trying to, no, this is nothing like that, but I'm just saying.
I understand.
You understand? Mm-hmm. So we are one of all things. Another case in point, don't you want some stocks and bonds?
No.
Why?
I don't have time for that.
What do you mean?
I don't know. It's just too much. You gotta keep up with it. You gotta keep what you did.
But still, don't you need stocks and bonds? That's how people get rich in America.
I mean, I see.
In this land,
I'm not looking to get rich.
Salaki. In this land, that's how people move forward. Yeah, but you should be. You should be looking to get rich. You should be looking to get more than what you got. That's why the Lord gave a nation and inherited the portions to all the nations. We have natural resources like gold, like sugar, like cotton, like wheat, like barley, like corn, like watermelon, like what else they got out there? Figs, like oranges, like peaches. Land. Would you like your own house?
Yes, one day.
See, yes, one day. And I'm not saying, of course, I want a house. Damn it. And that's the thing. Our oppressors never made that possible. That seems like, and the way you said it is so true, that you have been hurt in America. It shows it. And I've been hurt. We've all been hurt in America. All of us. So don't feel like you're alone. You ain't alone on this shit. Our whole goddamn nation is like that. So, yeah, you want a house. 6-bedroom house, 3 bathrooms, a front yard, a backyard, an attic, and a basement. I mean, that's what I want. I'm from back east. I know I want me a basement, because in my basement, I'm going to have me a pool table. I'm going to have a washer and dryer. I'm going to have a washer and dryer. I'm going to have my flat screen. And when the homies come over and we don't want to bother the wife, we're going to go downstairs to the basement. We're going to watch the Super Bowl. And we're going to play pool. You know, we're going to play these things or play whatever the hell we play. You understand? That's freedom. That's what you need here. You understand? It ain't about being greedy. That is your portion. That's your portion. But they stole it from you. Welcome to 7-Eleven. Would you like to get a Slurpee?
You sound just like
Exactly. And that's what they do to us. Because every nation looks at us like we are prey. Every nation looks at us. That's flies. Is like, you know, they look at us and they want our money. They get rich off the money of blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We got the millions, believe it or not. As poor as we are, we still got the millions, but we have to. They put us we're in a position where we always got to spend it. Mm-hmm. We always got to spend it. Like I said, sis, you should look at the stocks and bonds. Very important.
A lot of people keep telling me that, but
Salaki, hold on. You're going too much ahead of yourself. You're going too much ahead of yourself. Why do you think they got a 401k? What do you think a 401k is? You know what a 401k is? It's a retirement plan when you work. That means when I finish working, I get old, I got money built up. See what I'm saying? So when I get old and I can't work no more, I can draw on that money to pay my bills, my rent, my light, my gas, my electric, my food, the clothes, the special blanket, and all that stuff. Understand? That's why it's good to have stocks and bonds, but we don't have none of that stuff because our oppressor got it, because he controls this. You understand? America. So as you continue to come to class, of course, you understand what we teach here. Okay. And that's the thing. We got to understand, we have been they're about 1,000 years ahead of us. That nation is 1,000 years ahead of your nation. You understand? I don't want to stop singling. Our nation. They're 1,000 years ahead of us because we were in slavery. And we're in a land is not our homeland. We did not speak English. You think English is your language?
no.
English is a bastard language from the beginning. It's a feminine language. And you continue to get here. Like when I got my Hebrew name, I understood how the force of the Hebrew language is so masculine. And that's what it should be. That's what it's supposed to be. Because who guards every nation? Every nation, whether you're Chinese, Japanese, the men. Kind. Now, let's go to this. Where we at? We got more on that? Did you hold your finger where we at? Okay. Continue.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
There you go. Say it again. Say it again.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
Your baby screamed out, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And you know why? because the Lord told them to do that, because they put a yoke of iron on our neck when we came to America. English is not your language. These are the effects of slavery. These are the effects. And we just spoke about, that's why I went into PTSD. When I spoke about PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Post means after. After you saw your homie get his head shot out with the gun and his brain matters, and you looked at the pieces of the brain and like, damn, that ain't gonna come back together. Look at all the blood. Look at all the blood. You understand? We are, it's another thing about PTSD. PTSD has been known to be a generational effect, which means if my father experienced PTSD, I experienced PTSD as his son, and then my baby, and then my baby, and then my baby's babies. That's why that baby yelled out. That's why the Lord said to do so. You understand? It is a sin to do that against us, man. We're those victims, but we are those people. We are the people of the Bible, man. The Bible is a black book. And when I say black, I mean Hispanic and native, so-called native Indian as well. You understand? My mother got Blackfoot in her. You hear a lot of black folks say it. We got Blackfoot in us. And then you got Mexican. And then you got Puerto Rican. And then you got Cuban. And then you got a Colombian. And then you got Panamanian. And then you got Brazilian. And then you got Guatemala. You understand? These are all the children. All of these, and Benjamin Khan, and these are all the children of Israel. You had your hand up, my spot?
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Go ahead.
They even got a study that just came out saying that we can like go and try to, and we basically, us, like our age, the younger generation got PTSD because our ancestors that were in slavery, like you just said, it's in the genes from being in slavery, and it trickles down.
And imagine
scientists are doing the
and imagine you in the field, right? You picking cotton, you picking sugar cane, you cutting sugar cane, you doing cotton, right? Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, Massa ride up, or any white man ride up, and he tell your woman, come on. In front of you.
You can't do nothing about it.
And it's no might in your hand. There's a part in this book, a part in these scriptures that said there'll be no might in your hand to save them. These are the effects of slavery, man. But the thing about it is, you continue to be here with us, we'll show you that the Lord is getting ready to bring us out of all this crap. All of this hell. Because hell is a condition. The Christian church taught you're going to die and go down there with a little red man with horns on his head. It's not true. It's a condition. The condition, drug addiction, prison, abortions, what else? Murder, robbery, poverty, being poor, knowing what it is. Because one thing I know about brothers, and my spot, I already know you could testify with me. We know how to drive broke cars. Tell the truth.
Oh, me.
Tell the truth. My mirror broke. I don't give a damn. I got it. It overheats. I got a big old gallon of water up in there. I got it. You know, that belt keeps slipping. I got it. I'm gonna spray that joint on there. You know what I'm saying? It does this. Oh, I gotta put it in reverse for a minute. I gotta hold on. I gotta put it in reverse for a minute and let it roll out. You know what I'm saying? That's what I gotta do. And I'm gonna get to where the hell I'm going. Because I'm a strong black man. You understand? But we know how to ride broke stuff. That's poverty. You're never supposed to be able to deal with that. What you think? Our other nation, other nation in America know what they do? AAA. Mechanic. Bring me another car and just bring it over here so I can drive it. You need stocks and bonds, sis. Your life is not supposed to be the way it is. My life ain't supposed to be the way it is.
That's right.
You understand? When you deal with stocks and bonds, you don't got to keep up with it. That's what you got. That's why you got a broker or a financial analyst, a financial advisor. But we don't get that because we got an EBT card.
That's my credit card.
My financial advisor will say, look, I know you're a little bit busy right now. Hello? Yeah, I'm over here. You know, I'm over at the laundromat. Yeah, but look, you got to put your money out. Put half of your stocks in grapefruits this year. Okay? Because I think that'll bring you a whole lot more money. Oh, okay, cool. Go ahead, put half of mine in there. Good deal. Boom. You don't gotta, it ain't gotta be where you're analyzing it. You got a financial advisor. But you don't get that because you are a Negro. You don't get that because you're a Hispanic brother. You don't get that because you're a Native Indian, a Blackfoot, a Choctaw, an Apache, a Cheyenne, or a Sioux. Understand? You don't get that. Okay? So that's the reason why we not understand. The Lord wanted you to have way more than what you think you're supposed to have. The further you take your mind out of America, the better off you're going to be. Trust me. Better off you're going to be. You're going to understand why and how and the ins and outs of where you're supposed to be. All right. Did we finish that? I want to get into what happened. I'm gonna show you a lot of things that they did to us, the effects of the brutality. This is a book called 100 Years of Lynching by Ralph Ginsburg. I always bring this out. I hate this book, but I like this book in the same token. I hate it, and y'all know why once you read it. Once we read one of these. And then you're going to want, and I'm going to show you why I like it. Let's go to, let's see. Who heard the word Karen? What is Karen today in society? Who is Karen? Anybody? Go ahead.
A white woman.
There you go. That does what?
that does white people stuff.
Like
Dumb shit.
dumb stuff like
call the police over loud music.
There you go. Against who?
Against the black people.
Right. Against her people?
No, against the black people.
Who's Karen's race? What's Karen's race?
White.
He's a what?
White.
She's a what?
An Edomite.
Edomite.
Esau, the devil.
The devil. Well, cut out thing. Okay, here we go. Now, I go to page 10 and 11. Let's go here. Mashapat, be careful with my book, man. Read page 10 and 11.
10 and 11.
Right. We're going into the brutality of blacks and Hispanics. That's why I said you got to understand when you read a book, get the truth out the book. Verify it with us.
We want to start it from.
Start it from the top. This just goes to the top.
To the Negro's cabin at night, and demanded that the boy be handed over to them.
So this is the mob. This is a white mob coming saying, "Get that nigga out here. Bring me that Negro boy." Continue.
Knowing what would be his probable fate, the Negro refused to surrender his son. On the contrary, he seized a gun, and when the white mob fired up on the house, he returned the fire and killed the sheriff.
I already know the story, which I really had it. This is what happened. You know what? You know why he's returning fire, and the mob wanted to say, "Bring that boy out," because that boy was about 19 years old, and then there was a white 19-year-old. They had a fight, a fist fight. Come on, man. I done been through many fist fights, and I done seen the results. I've been part of the results, and nobody dies. No, right. So you say it again, my spot, because
the white boy lost.
Got it.
Got him. The white boy lost.
Right. So the white boy lost. He lost the fight. Continue.
Then the whites, in a rage, picked up a log and rushed upon the cabin door to batter it in. And another shot from the Negro's gun killed another white man and fatally wounded a third.
See, and that's why the black man is strong. You know, we know how to do these. These we know.
That's right.
Now stocks and bonds,
We gonna learn that.
we gotta learn that, like the sister said. But when it comes to my Smith-Oins, like from my way I go, when it comes to my Smith-Oins, I know how to use my Smith-Oins. Understand? And so the black boy beat the white boy down, which is true. Continue. And the mob came and they said, bring that nigga out. When he lost the fight, your boys fight all the time. Why in the hell you got the mob in front of your house with guns? Much better.
As in other words, ain't no niggas got hurt yet.
Yeah, exactly. Go ahead.
For real,
That's the truth behind it. But they want that, go ahead.
The mob retreated for reinforcements.
What the hell you need? You need reinforcements now? God damn. And I'm going to tell you, man, I'm a father of 3. When my sons was in the street and they got into a fight, I ain't bringing nobody. There was one time when my oldest boy said the female kept spraying him with mace when he was getting down with the dude, having a fight with the dude. She kept spraying him in the face, making the fight unequal with mace. So I said, oh, hell no. And my son told me straight out, Dad, I don't give a damn if you going with me or not with me. I drove him over there. I was wrong, but I drove him over there.
You was right.
And he couldn't get out I couldn't even park. The nigga got out the car and ran and started beating down on the dude. The dude was older than him too. He was about 21. My son was about 18 at the time. But the female tried to come and all this. I pushed her back. I could have kicked her butt. I ain't gonna lie. I could have killed her with her own stuff, shoved it up any place she wanted. You understand? And she don't want it. But guess what? I'm not bringing the military. I ain't bringing the goddamn cavalry. It was just me and my boy. And even the other brothers came down the street. And they knew by the look on my face, you ain't getting in it. This is a one-on-one between him and him. Whoever win, fair, and whoever lose. Understand? My son handled his biz right there. And I hate that it was Israel. I do. I hate that it was Israel. But still, why is this, in contrast to that, why is this white man, they get offended when you say white man, though. Why is he bringing the cavalry and the military and the mob over a fist fight? His son was going to live and be tomorrow. He's going to lick his wounds. He's going to heal. You understand? He didn't kill him. There's one more I'm finna get into. And it wasn't that just shows you the heart of this man. That shows you the heart of their nation. That shows you how they get down. They want to kill you no matter what the cost.
That's right.
We are it's Salaki. That's why we are God's people. You know why we God's people? Because we do have that compassion. And I'm going to take it to the part where, remember that at time that Sister Geiger, what's her name? Geiger, she killed that brother, shot him. She's a police officer. She shot that brother, and the judge came down and hugged her, and they were fixing her hair and all that stuff. Amy Geiger or something. The white woman, right. Why in the hell are you doing that? Why can't my sisters get that when they go to the pen? Let the judge come down off the stand and hug my sister. And this happened to be a sister that hugged her. You know it was. That's to show you how beat up we are in this society. And it's post-traumatic stress disorder. But it's another one. You know what it's called? It's called Stockholm Syndrome. That's Stockholm Syndrome. We've been kidnapped by this devil in Africa. We're not from Africa, but we just happen to be in Africa at the time. Understand? We're not African people because African people don't deal with us. We don't dress like African people. African people don't dress like us. Okay, they don't act like us, and we're Israelites. If you're a Negro, if you're a Hispanic, if you're a Native Indian, you're a Negro, you're an Israelite. You're from Israel. God chose you. You're God's chosen people. Okay, so where's we at on that? I said that she hugged, you know, she was straightening her hair, and the judge. I ain't never had a judge hug me when I got arrested. Come on down here and understand. Look, sir, we understand that you was highly addicted from drugs. You did some wrong things. So it's terrible what happened to you, man. And they come down off the stand and give me a hug. Look, I hope you do better.
I'm about to say,
When the hell did that ever happen?
I feel so bad.
So like, hold on now. When did that ever happen to a Black, Hispanic, Native man or woman? You understand? You have something to say? I ain't trying to.
No, I already said it.
Right. And that's the deal. You know what I mean? Why in the hell? Ain't nobody ever did that to us. I mean, so we got to understand these conditions of slavery. Let's continue with what we got. Well, Ralph Ginsburg, we're on page 10. Let's go.
And the Negro took his boy and gun and made off for the swamps.
He went to the swamps with his boy because his boy beat the white boy ass. He went to the swamp. He returned fire and capped some of their asses. Okay, he knew how to use that thing. Might have been in the military. Understand? Continue. Let him do it.
At last,
let him do it.
At last accounts, he had not been captured and tortured to death, but in lieu of this,
right? In lieu of
this, the noble and manly whites were going about the country firing into the cabins of innocent and defenseless blacks.
They did what? Read that again.
They were going into the country firing into the cabins of innocent and defenseless blacks.
Innocent and defenseless blacks. That means I'm in this cabin and I don't even got a gun, but you came in shooting. So imagine. In the book, it's more lives that were taken that they're not talking about, because these were defenseless people. So they went in there and shot them and blew their brains out too. You understand? Our oppressor is the devil. You understand? And when you understand this Bible, you continue coming to these classes, you will understand that we God's chosen people and we suffered so many things. And when we were in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and going in the verses, that was describing Israel. It said you'll have sons, and also it said it'll put a yoke of iron on your neck, right? Until he have destroyed thee. What nation ever had a yoke of goddamn iron on their neck? Next to nobody. What nation had their family sold on an auction block? Nobody. Cut. All right. What nation went through 400 plus years of slavery? Did the Jewish man go through that? The one that say he's a Jew. He likes to eat matzo balls. What is it? Whatever the hell they say. We're going to go to that. Hey, Marshall Pie. In a minute, if one of y'all can find it, I want you to go to that scripture that says he is a Jew and is not. This is our stuff. This here, and everything you see on this table. This is us. This ain't no Jewish people. Jewish means like you ish. What's ish? That means I say I'm this, but I'm not really this. I'm ish. Reddish, blackish, yellowish. It's yellow, but it's not really yellow. That's why they say they're Jewish. We're Jews. Negro, you a Jew for real. Understand? Go ahead, Al.
I got Revelations 3:9.
Read it.
Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews, and are not.
And are what?
And are not.
And are what?
And are not.
That say they're what?
Are Jews.
Are Jews and are what?
And are not.
And are what?
And are not.
I want y'all to understand that so deeply. Revelations even say it. The last book in the Bible before the world comes to an end. He says he a Jew. Who on the earth say that he's a Jew? Jewish. Ashkenazi, Khan, Sephardic Jews as well. They say they Jews. And are what? Are not. That's what the Bible says, man. It's time we wake up our nation, man. That's why in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, under the commanding General Yohana, teaches blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you are the true chosen people. Because you are the ones going through affliction. You are the ones waiting for a goddamn stimulus check. You are the ones trying. Hold on. We can continue a little bit more of that. What we got? All right. You are these people, man. There's nobody else that went through this. Only our nation did. But they want to keep trying to say this didn't happen to you. Forget about this. Don't worry about that. It's okay for this. Forget about slavery. Go to sleep. That's why. Spot. Continue.
3 and 9.
No, you finished with that, right?
Nah.
Go ahead, finish it.
That say they are Jews and are not, but do lie.
But do what?
But do lie.
Lie. What's a lie? Right? When you tell a story that's not true, sis. It's a story that ain't true, but do lie. Continue.
Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet.
He'll come and make them worship before thy feet. You know what? That just reminded me of something. You know what that reminded me of? I'm going to tell you what it's Salaki. I'm going to tell you what it reminded me of. Camp. When we hold camp and we had a white man kiss our feet, they will worship at our feet. That's what's getting ready to happen. We them true ones. We them people.
That's right.
Continue.
And to know that I have loved thee.
Mm-hmm. I have what?
I have loved thee.
The Lord loves us, man. The Lord loves it. You know what the Lord loves? When the sisters be cooking that chicken that smells so savory, that scent on the holy days. The Lord said, make a savory. What did he say? Make a savory scent. The Lord loves fried chicken. Mm-hmm. Y'all didn't know that, did you? The Lord even says it in Leviticus. That's right. And Leviticus is all the holy days. Passover. Thou shalt get that meat. I can't paraphrase it right now because but he'll get that to make a savory scent, right? The Lord will smell it right from heaven, because it was on the day that the Lord said that you're supposed to keep this day. You're supposed to keep like Passover. You're supposed to keep Feast of Dedication, the Hanukkah. You understand? And he wants you to get that lamb. He wants you to get that bullock and get that meat and season that puppy up and make a savory scent to him. You know, we do that. Let him do it. Let him do it. You're damn right. Be filled with the Spirit of the Lord. Understand? Yeah. That's what we hear about, man. Our babies, our whole families are welcome. Welcome.
That's right.
It don't matter. I love it. Okay, so hey, Mashipat. Oh, watch my book, man. Okay, go ahead. The pages is what I'm talking about. I'm just funny like that. With pages.
The mob retreated for reinforcements, and the Negro took his boy and gun and made off for the swamps.
Right, he went into the swamp. This is swamps in Georgia. The swamps in North Carolina, South Carolina, somewhere down there in Mississippi, Louisiana. Go ahead.
At last accounts, he had not been captured and tortured to death.
His father was a G. Man, this boy's father was a G. That's why that boy beat that white boy down so bad. He got that from his daddy. He knew what to do. Continue.
In lieu of this, the noble and manly whites were going about the country firing into the cabins of innocent and defenseless blacks.
Look, so this is the animal and beast you dealing with. You got to understand the beast of what you dealing with. You dealing with the white man. They just going because he lost the fight and just firing and shooting into the shacks of slaves that didn't even have guns. You know what I'm saying? And were innocent. They weren't even involved in it. All of a sudden, imagine you just wake up and you just hear bullets. Boom, boom, boom. And you see your baby got shot. You see your brother got shot. Is it that PTSD? Mm-hmm. Continue.
Burning up the homes of some, killing others, and
burning up the homes of some. They just burning your shit just for nothing. He won a fight. It was a little young man fight they got out there. Nobody died. Nobody got killed. But your house got to get burned. You got to get shot at. You got to get killed. Your people got to get killed. Understand the brutality of our oppressor, man. Our oppressor is the devil, man. Understand his brutality. George Floyd, Sandra Bland, Eric Garner, Philando Castile, Akai Gurley, you know what I'm saying? Rashard Brooks, Ahmaud Arbery, I always say that one, you know what I'm saying? But we know our brothers and sisters that don't, that's not living no more because of the brutality of that devil. Continue.
Burning up the homes of some, killing others, and ordering a general exodus of Negroes.
A general what?
Exodus of Negroes.
Oh, that's funny. Why would they use exodus? You see what I'm saying? If we're not Jews, if we're not Israelites, even if we're not from the tribe of Judah, the other tribes are Israelites, which is still God's chosen people. Understand? Why did they make the mention? They made an exodus. They got some movies out there where they say Black Moses, by the way. If y'all not aware, y'all look at some of these older movies, Black Moses. Understand? Moses was in charge of the exodus. You understand? I will go into way more as these go on to show you, man, beyond a shadow of a doubt, you're an Israelite. You're not an African. Do y'all like to wear those? You ever, anybody in your family ever had plate lips where they cut their lip and they put a big ass plate, so like a big plate in there? Anybody in your family used to cut little patterns in their bodies? Right. Anybody in your family ever eat cow manure? And you know what manure is, right? The boo-boo, right?
For real?
Y'all didn't know that, right?
Yeah.
Anybody in your family ever did that? Right. Any of your family ever cut the clitorium off a woman?
Oh my God, stop.
Right. I'm going to stop it right there. But I want y'all to be aware you're not African.
For real?
And those women got that done to them, mutilated, so that they don't have pleasure. That's African. All right, go ahead, sis.
There's a movie actually about that, of some Africans, about a woman. She speaks on how she got that done to her and how she didn't never, that she felt like that was brutality to her. Like, why did she have to get that done? I can't remember the name of it, but I watched it before my lifetime.
And it also is in some either books or newspapers, but I believe it's books, where they a lot of them came forward and said, we missing out we missing out on something. and we've been really, the first thing is we've been abused. We've been abused. Hell. So we're not African, man. You know, we are not African people, man. African folks never came here, you know, with chains on their neck. And the ships, there wouldn't have been no rescuing ships coming up. There would have been rescuing ships from Uganda, Senegalese, Morocco, Egypt, Nigeria. They would have came and got us. Knowing that we've been here 400 goddamn years and we're your brother. If my brother be out like 4 hours, I finna go get him. Mama, I'm gonna get him. Mama gonna send me to go get him. If not, or I'm no.
That's right.
Look, you've been out there too long, so shit might happen. I'm gonna whoop your ass and take you home. Cause I got two younger brothers. You understand? No, they ain't staying out that long. That's the bloodline, man. Which shows you're not African, man. You understand? You are not African. You understand? We don't even look like that. And even when you know what's crazy? They bring another point. They said when the white man want to go get talent, where does he go to get that talent from? Say it again. Get that sister a hand. Give that sister a mighty hand. The hood. Because I ain't never seen no Beyonce from Senegal. From Mtubu tribe. I ain't never seen no goddamn Beyonce get on the stage and perform like she do. No Cardi B, no Minnie Riperton, no Gladys Knight. You understand? I ain't never seen no Temptations. I ain't never seen no goddamn Whispers. I ain't never seen no goddamn Harold Melvin and the Blue Notes. I ain't never seen no freaking Blue Magic from Senegal. No. He knows where to get it. That's why when I remember I was talking about the pirates in the beginning of this class, where they said that their cargo is real expensive because they were slaves. That's why. We're of a royal tribe. We're royal. You gotta understand, you are royal. You gotta understand that. When we say this, you're not no princess, we don't mean it in a bad way, because you're not no princess. You never been, queen, Salaki. Queen, the water. But you are a what?
Princess.
A what?
Princess.
A what?
A princess.
A princess if you are the who? Which are? Which are?
Judah.
Which are?
The most highest chosen people.
Which are?
The Bible chosen people.
I'm trying to pull it out of y'all. Y'all right, but I'm pulling y'all right with everything you said, which are black women, Hispanic women, Native Indian, so-called Native Indian women. That's right. Y'all are all princesses. Understand? All right.
And we looked up, me and my wife looked up something, queen in the Greek or something like that. Back in the day, it means bitch.
You know what? That's right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Oh, Salakia.
All you women want to be queens.
Back in my day, long time ago, when we had dogs, the dog's name was Queenie.
Mm-hmm.
And the dog was a bitch.
Damn.
Because a bitch is a female dog. God damn, Mashapa. Give Mashapa a hand too. That's right. That's why we're princesses. You see how learning the truth and knowing who you are is so important, and knowing your culture that the white man stripped away from you. And he didn't even strip it away from you. He pulled all of it off. He ripped it off of you where the blood was showing. You understand? He took that whip to your back. He raped your wife. He took a rod up into your men. That's how they break a slave. Sodomize them. Oh yeah, that's how they used to break the slaves. Because when they looked at us when we came across from Africa, Israelites were so strong. You know how brothers are strong. Shoot, man, ain't no secret. That's why he whooped the boy butt. Come on, man. Knock it off. That's how they broke a slave. You understand? The brutality of it, man. That's what we went through, the brutality. You know why they named and Tawada took Kazakyad, who taught me this. Kazakyad taught me this. The priest in the ISUPK in the Inconvenient Truth, I'm gonna put him out there. He said 1,000 Oaks was named 1,000 Oaks. Why? Hey, watch that. It just moved. The camera just moved. Is it good right there? Okay. So 1,000 Oaks was named 1,000 Oaks because they hung 1,000 Mexicans on them trees. Who else got hung on trees? Blacks, and Indians, So That's what happened. That's what happened with us. And when we start this class, it's about time for this class to be over, I believe. But these are the things that takes us and gives us the reason why our people need to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments, so that we could get that true money from the Most High, not no stimulus check.
That's right.
Because every nation has diamonds, nations have rubies, nations have emeralds, nations have topaz, nations have sapphire, nations have gold, silver, copper, bronze. Where's yours at, black man? Where's yours at, Native Indian man? Where's yours at, Hispanic man? From the brutality, they also robbed us of every natural resource. That's why they talk about reparations. You're not supposed to be where you at worrying about, how much I'm gonna put on this bill, and then I'm gonna make it on this bill, and I'm gonna make it to pay my rent, and then I'll make it, and why you got rent in the first place? Why you got rent in the first place? You're supposed to have your land. You better look, I married this woman, I got these kids, I got this land out here plotted out, and I'm getting ready to put some seeds so I could get me some watermelons, some collard greens, some onions, some tomatoes, some corn, some wheat, some barley. You know what I'm saying? And I see,
maybe,
just maybe, and some chicken, some yard bird, right? Some yard bird, some cows, some oxes, so I could get me some oxtails. You know I love oxtails. And I'm not gonna get no pig. Damn that.
They can keep that.
Right, they can keep that. Right, so I can have me some birds out there and all these things, and to build up my family, make this house. So when I finish this house, my sons can live in this house. Their sons can live in this house. And if they don't like it, they can renovate the damn house and make it better. And then their sons can live and have babies in this house. It'll be under my name. The house of Shadrach. You know what I mean? But see, that's what we don't have. We don't have that because they stole, like you said, sis, they stole everything from us. Everything. And they don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. They're gonna pay it all back and more. Let me get Revelation chapter 2 and verse 9. Let me get Revelation 2 and 9. Let's go with that. Understand?
Revelations chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not.
So he knows the tribulation. We're going to go to 3:9 in a minute. That's the one I wanted. But 2:9 will tell you, he knows your tribulation, your poverty, which means you poor. You are poor. Trust me. $50,000. When I was in college, $50,000 was considered money, but the lowest money. You got 50,000, sis?
No.
I might get his butt too. Don't mess with me. I know that manners. But 50,000 was considered low money, like the lowest of the money. 50,000? Nigga, we can't even put 2,000 together. Huh? We can't even put 2 G's together. Shit, if I get 2 G's, it's that stimulus check. Real talk, you should be done with me. Messing with me. Understand? But they said 50,000, sis, which shows you're way out of the loop. You're poor beyond poor. But who did Christ come for? Who will Christ, our King, Yahushua, come for? Marsha Pot?
No, I was raising my hand. You said who?
Right, there you go. You being funny now, but that's right. No, but you serious? No, brother. I'm with you. You, and our whole nation. All of us.
That's right. Come.
Our King Yahweh Shai has come for us because we need help. We need a deliverer. We need a deliverer. Christ is the anointed. When the word Christ means anointed, you understand? He's the deliverer also. And he's our savior. Our savior, because we need to get saved. So don't go to that Christian church talk about you saved. You ain't saved yet. Yet. Because is Yahweh Shai here? Is Christ here? Is he here? Say it again, sis. La'ah, which means no in the Hebrew, right? Because he is not here, right? But he's coming back for all of us. All of us. We need that. We need that help. We need that help. Understand? Must I continue?
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not.
He knows the blasphemy. That's blasphemy. You know, when they say blasphemy, that means blasphemous is a lie, right? Blasphemous means it's kind of like if you say God did something evil, that's blasphemy. You say God or the prophets did something evil, that's blasphemy. You understand? That's a high sin right there. Very high. You're going to pay for what the hell you just said. Okay, give me Revelation 3 and 9.
Revelation chapter 3, verse 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not.
Are you in 3 and 9? All right, give me 2 and 9. Who was at 2 and 9? Let me get 2 and 9.
Let's start all over.
Go ahead, read it.
Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Fear none of those things.
Okay, leave it. Okay, stop right there. Use that. That was 2:9, right?
Yeah.
All right. So 3:9. Let me see. It's 6:17, isn't it? All right. So I'm gonna end it with that and understand our brutality is so terrible. I didn't even get into the book right there that I had with Ralph Ginsburg. I didn't even get into that. I mean, we only got into one page, but we understand that we've been killed, lynched, robbed, had a knee on our neck, been whipped, been lied to, been stolen from, been kidnapped, been sodomized, been molested, been raped by our oppressor for over 400 goddamn years. And the book of Deuteronomy categorizes and describes the children of Israel. And all those descriptions, every single last one of them describes the transatlantic slave trade. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. We just read it in the Bible. It's in Deuteronomy 28, starts from chapter 28 from verse 15 on down to verse 68. And I didn't even read that last verse. Hey, I'm going to read the last verse of it anyway. I already know I'm over the time, but hell, I'll get checked for it. This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. I'm going to read it. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
That's right.
With ships. Egypt is not like when you hear about Egypt in Africa, that land was called Mitzrayim. It's not called Egypt. Real African is Mitzrayim. Egypt, and you look up the word. Remember, we said it's a metaphor in the Bible. Everything that you read on the top doesn't always mean what it says. Egypt means bondage. Bondage is slavery. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt with ships. These are the slave ships. By way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, which means you're not going to see your land. When the last time was you in Jerusalem? Thank you. Thou shalt not see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold on the auction block of the slave unto your enemies. Stop thinking that the white man is your friend. Unto your enemies, for bondman and bondwoman, and no man shall buy you. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.
You know,